Greetings, all. I'm Unique, and I am here to plant seeds on the DNA that are going to grow one day. I love my job as a messenger, and the messages will resonate. They're going to touch the DNA, and eventually they're going to grow. And you, your seeds, someone around you, we are all one. And I'm grateful to have a voice amongst us all. Now, the last video, I was speaking about acknowledging the feminine principle. Acknowledging the feminine essence in nature and life and creation. I mentioned that the creator is neither male nor female. The creator has no gender. To call it a he or a she, to me, is like demoting the creator down to physical attributes. Yet, if you're going to acknowledge the creator, God, universe, and the masculine, then you must pay homage to the feminine. Balance. So, I'm going to continue speaking about the feminine principle, in specific, the womb-niverses of my sisters here on this plane, our wombs. Right now, I would say more than half of us have pollution going on in our wombs. A woman's creative life force energy starts in her womb. You were born with all your potential children at birth, sisters. We don't get any other eggs. We are born with all our potential life. Within our ovaries, the ovum is what they call the eggs, there's energy. It's a lot of energy. That's creative energy. Think about it. That's life. Once that egg is fertilized, whichever sperm cell is meant to be the one is allowed to fertilize that egg. That egg was with that woman from birth. And with that being said, sisters, that creative life force energy, there are many names for it. That creative life force energy gets depleted along the way. Different things that we do, our environment, sexual habits, our diet, our mental conditioning, the programs that we were programmed with since we were born, all play a part in polluting or diluting the energy that's stored in our ovaries, that's stored in our uterus, depleting our life force energy. In specific, I'm going to speak more on this in this video about the sexual energy and how, first of all, bringing the life back to your wombs. First, we have to acknowledge that sexual energy is one of the most powerfulest energies that we can tap into on this plane. It creates life, and it's depleted. We can deplete our motherly instinct. We can deplete our life force energy. And we have been. Most of us, sisters, our wombs are polluted. Our life force energy is depleted. Therefore, our creativity is exhausted. We live in day-to-day running off our programs, not realizing that we can heal ourselves, heal our wombs, take back control of what's going on with the woes of our men in this lifetime. We can talk about the men, how a man ain't this, and how we want this and expect this from him. A lot of us can get so independent that we forget that we created that man. Every man on this planet, his skin is his mother's endometrium. He was formed in her womb. So in order to correct what we disagree with our men, we have to start by cleansing our wombs. You have the history of mates still in your womb that you haven't purged. And you haven't purged it. One of the ways to know it is because you still think about that person. You're always going to be connected to anybody that you're intimate with. That's a marriage. Therefore, there's no divorce. There's never going to be a time that you're not connected to everybody that you were intimate with. So with that being said, there are ways for us to cleanse and purge ourselves spiritually, physically, and emotionally so that we're not carrying that heavy baggage inside our wombs. I'm going to speak about cultivating female sexual energy. I'm going to speak about cultivating male sexual energy. Because men, every time you ejaculate, you lose an equivalent of a pint of blood and nutrients. So you're bleeding every time you come. If you don't master ejaculation, master methods that are going to allow you to recirculate or recycle that energy up and down the spine, so it becomes light. Touch the pineal gland, up and down the spine. So by the time you have an orgasm, you won't come. It's devitalized fluid. And like I said, that's a video for another time. In specific, we're going to speak with my sisters and being able to go into your energy reserve, sisters, in your eggs, in your uterus, heal your uterus, and then you can also tap into the energy that's stored there. But right now, a lot of us don't have much stored, and it's depleting. It's aging us. It's causing us to be out of balance. When I tell you, sisters, brothers, we're not even supposed to be having sex at night. It's going to be a hard pill to swallow, I know. We're not even supposed to bleed during our cycles. It's hemorrhaging blood in the womb. If you hemorrhage blood in the brain, they call it an aneurysm. It's not good. Why would hemorrhaging in our wombs be normal? We're not supposed to bleed. We're not supposed to be losing calcium, iron, magnesium, and being iron deficient and losing bone density. That's not natural. Aging is not a natural process, people. Age is sickness and disease and decline. The cells are pre-programmed to live forever. You can rejuvenate. You can regrow limbs. You can regrow teeth. You can heal your womb or whatever the doctors are trying to take your womb for. Fibroids, cysts, fibromyalgia. Diet is key. And I can't even put a numerical order on these changes that need to be made if you want to take back control of your womb. If you want to take back control of the brothers and you raising boys, even if you don't have children, it's a village. You have little male cousins. You have female children that you are supposed to teach. We're having girls having menstrual cycles at 9, 7. That's not normal. Hemorrhaging blood in the womb is not normal. Dairy is one of the number one culprits of the hormonal imbalances, or one of the hormonal imbalances, especially estrogen. The dairy products, the cheese, the eggs, the chicken, and I mention the chicken because they're using some of the same hormones. And those hormones throws our estrogen levels off, for instance. And we get clots that they call cysts. And then those clots, some of them get tighter and they call them fibroids. Physically, that's diet. Emotionally, sis, you're dealing with some type of trauma, and that trauma is showing up in your womb. You must release the trauma. A woman's creative life force energy starts in her womb, and 95% of what's going on is in her womb. It'll show up in your stomach. Your stomach is right there. Cramps, menopause, none of that's normal. So, cultivate your female sexual energy. Start getting to know thyself. Know your cycles. Not dependent on an app Write your cycles. Write your moods. Ask the Creator, what is that trauma? If you don't already know that trauma that you're dealing with that's showing up in your womb, find out. Ask Source Energy. It'll let you know. Clear your womb universe and your world clears. Everything in your world clears. Because what you see in your world right now is what you attract. And again, our life force energy is in our womb, in our ovaries, in our uterus, in our womb walls. Those walls supposed to be tight, nice, and ripe, sis, for the rest of your life. We have muscles. People talk about, I hear the women saying when I mention that we need to work those muscles. And we speak about Kegels. Yet, those muscles are independent. You have yoni eggs. Yoni eggs I would recommend. Because you can take the egg and use it to work the muscles independently. Work the muscles a lot better and a lot more efficient because you're able to work them independently, just with as opposed to just doing Kegels alone, the tightening exercises we do. We also have ovarian exercises, cervix exercises. Your womb is not just one whole. It's individual parts, and they all need to be stimulated. Because I guarantee you they are all dealing with something. Your diet, your childhood, your environment, your exercising habits. All that's in our womb. And it's no wonder why some of us are acting the way we're acting. It's no wonder why they call you bitch. I bet you. So, again, I love you all, my sisters and my brothers. I get my messages from Source Energy. I speak what's given to me. I don't need to find out what's going on in the news from the news reporters. I don't need to find out the weather from the weatherman. I go within. And I'm grateful to be a messenger. Peace and love.